Hello there, thanks a lot for coming by PosterCentral.com's video blog today. I'm Pete Howard, and the Queen of the Jukeboxes, yes indeed, member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Dinah Washington, wow. You know something, Billboard magazine of course has the R&B singles chart. In the first 50 years of that chart, from during World War II to the end of the century, a little more than 50 years, Dinah Washington ranks number 19 in chart performance for all recording artists. Boy, number 19. That's amazing. She's ahead of the Supremes, the Jackson 5, the hit-making machine Dionne Warwick. Boy, I'll tell you, Dinah had 34 top 10 R&B hits, including my favorite, What a Difference a Day Makes. But unfortunately, we lost this classic jazz blues vocalist at age 39 in 1963. But this poster is from 1950, right in the middle of her prime, and it's done by Globe Posters out of Baltimore. It is a tour blank, with of course the top portion there not filled in for any specific stop on the tour, and I've not seen one actually filled in. I don't even have a photograph to show you of this exact poster with the venue information filled in. But you know, you take what you can get, and a blank is just fine when that's all you have. So I do peg it at 1950, and you might say, well, with nothing up above, how do you know it's 1950? And that's where the fun detective work of poster collecting comes in. Well, for one thing, it does say Mercury Records, but actually that means nothing because she was on Mercury for almost her entire career. But, yep, the clues lie, as always, in the song titles. And you can see right there it does say I Only Know as the first one, and that was a top 5 R&B hit for her in the spring of 1950. And then it says Long John Blues, and that was a top 5 R&B hit for her in 1949. So you take the latest one and figure the posters from there. Maybe not with some artists, but especially with someone like Dinah, who she was charting records at a wicked pace at this point. In fact, just during this year, 1950, she had 4 top 5 hits, just during 1950, same with the surrounding years. So we can assume, I think, that her tour posters were, you know, kept pretty up to date by her management and her booking agency, so 50 is a real good call on this one. And isn't she pretty in that picture? Just love that photo. Lovely lady for sure. And then below her, a couple of real jazz, blues, jump blues, and so forth stalwarts. You've got Eddie Cleanhead Vinson. Funny, they kind of added a Mr. there. I usually don't hear him called Mr. Cleanhead. He's just Eddie Cleanhead Vinson, named after, by the way, an accident he had when messing with his hair with some kind of lye treatment or whatever. He lost a lot of his hair. So another name for bald is Cleanhead. And alto saxophonist, of course, and blues shouter. And as far as the charts go, we did have a #1 record 3 years before this, Old Maid Boogie, and a couple of more in the R&B top 10. Now it's kind of interesting the way Cleanhead is sort of billed above his old boss, if you will. You could say that's Cootie Williams, of course. He was a member of Cootie Williams' orchestra during World War II. And Eddie did have the lead vocal on all 3 of Cootie's hits. So, and that's a perfect segue down to the last act there. As you can see, King of the Growl Trumpet. Wow. Yeah, Cootie Williams. So they complemented each other nicely. Obviously you have a saxophone and vocalist with Eddie, and then you have a trumpet player with doing very little vocals, if any, in Cootie. So they really were good jazz companions for quite a long time there. Whether it be jazz, jump blues, or R&B. But boy, I'll tell you, did Cootie ever have an amazing pedigree, just really golden. I mean, he had played under, by this point, Chick Webb, Fletcher Henderson, Duke Ellington, and Betty Goodman, all leading up to this. So boy, he really knew his chops for sure. Then we had it when he had his own orchestra, as I mentioned. He had 3 charting hits toward the end of World War II, all sung by Cleanhead. And that would include Red Blues, also known as Cherry Red Blues. That was a #2 hit, and boy, it had a long life. It was on the charts for almost 40 weeks. And then was also #1 record for Cootie and Cleanhead there with Somebody's Gotta Go. So you have really, you know, 3 amazingly strong talents on this poster, but, you know, for me, definitely going to call it a Dinah Washington concert poster in my book. I mean, she is the headliner, right? She's top billed. She's got the only song titles. She's got the only one with her record label listed, and she's got the biggest photograph. So it's a Dinah Washington for me, and of course she's my favorite too. I love female jazz vocalists and R&B. So hope you enjoyed seeing this lovely Globe Posters tour blank from 1950, and thanks a lot for dropping by. We'll see you again for something soon. Bye-bye.